So I don't know how many of you have seen this story, but I thought I would do some digging on this because it seems a little bit like it's something that people have made up again. So I have some information about this and I think it's worth letting people know. So I saw this tweet from Gillian Keegan MP. Now it's Twitter, so you can't see what she's even tweeting about because they've taken away the headline, so you have to click the link. But this is ridiculous. University should stand up for our British values and stop giving into woke ideology. Everything I don't like is woke, right? What are they discussing here? I wonder. And it's about Bristol University saying they've axed the National Anthem from their graduation ceremonies, with students claiming that it is old-fashioned and that some might find it offensive, right? I was looking into what was happening here. I looked at a bunch of sources. So here's the Daily Express. They've gone with Bristol University bans offensive national anthem from graduation ceremony. And they are also going with the claim that people say that it may be offensive to some people. The only source that the Daily Express use is speaking to The Sun. Computer science student Suki Yuan says students come here from all sections of society and the university probably thinks the national anthem may be offensive to some of them, right? So that links back to The Sun. Here's a Daily Mail article that we just looked at, going with the same story. Bristol University axes the national anthem from graduation ceremonies amid students' claims it is old-fashioned and offensive to some, in quotes. Apparently students are claiming that it's offensive to some. Understand that phraseology. Remember that phraseology that the Daily Mail headline is claiming that students think that it's offensive, right? That's what they're claiming, that it's offensive to some. And again, this one also links back to The Sun, being told to The Sun that the monarchy isn't relevant, so it wouldn't be missed, which is fair enough. Most people don't care. And the line from Bristol University is that they are going to include the national anthem, but only if a member of the royal family turns up. Like, yeah, what's the national anthem got to do with students getting degrees? If they don't want to listen to it, they don't have to. They also responded by saying that they regularly update their graduation ceremony and it's not been played since last year's. But it's now being picked up, even though they've had a whole year to pick this up this time as well. So this Daily Mail article, they are quoting The Sun, right? They quote Toby Young saying that Britain's most prestigious universities are openly contemptuous of the country's history and heritage, which not doing something isn't contemptuous. Again, this kind of forced engagement with these ritualistic traditions where they think that if you don't engage in it yourself, you must hate it, rather than having a choice about whether you do or don't. By opting out, that means you are somehow contemptuous of it, which isn't the same thing. Because at no point have the University of Bristol said that they hate the national anthem or that they think that it's bad. But Toby Young believes they're being contemptuous of it just by not joining in, by not actually doing it, even though they've said nothing contemptuous at all. That's it. Both these two articles go back to The Sun for their quotes. So let's read the actual Sun article and find out what the actual line is on this one. So their headline, top university goes woke, apparently, and quietly axes national anthem from graduation ceremonies. Since last year, graduates of the institution ranked 9th in the UK have not sung God Save the King. It will only be played if a representative of the royal family is present. University bosses have been accused of hating British culture and pandering to the wokes. Again, accused of. They don't actually do it because, again, they don't hate British culture because they haven't said anything to that end. And even then, they still play it if a member of the royal family is present. They're not even refusing to play it at all. They're just only playing it when it's literally relevant. Again, the same quote from Toby Young. Busy, not indeed on his very, very lonely stag do, but here, commenting for The Sun and all of the other different rags that have been running this story. So the quote that they are using, that all of these other articles have gone to, is current students said that God Save the King is irrelevant, old-fashioned and even offensive to some. So here are the quotes they use. The monarchy isn't really relevant to my generation, so it wouldn't be missed. Not unreasonable. I don't care about the monarchy. I don't care about the national anthem. I think the national anthem's kind of rubbish, right? Rule Britannia, definitely a better national anthem, much more interesting and fun than God Save the King is, which is a real dirge. Let's be real. And it's also the same as the Liechtenstein national anthem. Annie Lawler, 23, studying law, said it's a bit old-fashioned to have it played at a ceremony supposed to be celebrating the achievements of the individual student. Again, no shade on it being offensive at all, right? They've not claimed that it's offensive. They've not claimed that they don't like it. They just don't think that it's relevant and they think that it's old-fashioned. Right? Not an unreasonable claim to make. Because again, unless the king is in attendance, why do you have to care? The quote about the offence is this one right here. The same one from Suki Yuan that was used in the Daily Mail. Students come here from all sections of society, and the university probably thinks that it's offensive to some of them. This student isn't claiming that she thinks that it's offensive, isn't actually making any definitive claims that somebody else said that it's offensive, but she thinks that somebody else thinks that it might be offensive. Now, that's not the same as what the Daily Mail headline said, is it? No. The Daily Mail headline said that student claims that it was offensive. But the student said that she thinks someone else might think that it might be offensive. So we're like 3 layers removed from any actual offence taking place. So not only the original source, which is The Sun, has no evidence of anybody finding it offensive, and then all of the other articles all link back to The Sun. No one finds it offensive. The only source that they have for the potential for offence is this Suki person who is speculating that the reason why they did it is that they might think that it's offensive. So nobody, literally no one, out of the entirety of the course of this story has said that they find the National Anthem offensive. Yeah, Toby Young and the Daily Mail and all of the rogues gallery of people who get angry about the wokes have decided that they want to invent fictional offended people. Literally inventing fictional offended people so they can run their culture war hit piece. And if you're getting bought into this and getting angry and you're absolutely raging at your desk about the potential that the leftoids hate Britain and our culture and our values because of fictional offended people, you need to get a grip. You need to get a grip on reality, because literally nobody is offended by this. So much so that The Sun have had to invent offended people. They've had to literally invent people by getting somebody that they vox popped to speculate that these people might exist. And then the Daily Mail have human centipeded this information to then actually claim that this person themselves are saying that they were offended and not themselves speculating on the potential for somebody else to think that it was offensive. Because no one's actually said that they're offended at all. Yet the Daily Mail are running it in their headline. The Daily Mail have lied, or at the very least have failed to do due diligence when doing their reporting on this issue. Also have been accused of by who? Usually it turns out it's the paper themselves and their one Conservative pundit that end up giving comment for the article. Well, literally, right? That's the language that they use. They will say people have been accused of because one person can make the accusation. The paper themselves can make the accusation that they're pandering and giving into the wokes. And then it becomes common parlance. It becomes part of the national discourse. Accusations of pandering to wokery get driven by the press themselves, so they get to control the narrative and manufacture the consent in the first place. It's just like the same language that the papers do, where they'll say something happened after something else happened, which is like technically true, but that doesn't imply causation. You can make a kind of tangential comparison without actually making a real accusation. And they will play and manipulate this language all the time to make you think things are happening that aren't. And that's exactly what they've done here. They've just made a decision to only do it when the royals are in attendance and have other songs that the students want and have it more focused on the actual graduation. And this has spiralled into this story that even people like Oliver Dowden are threatening about to withdraw funding, taxpayer funding from Bristol University over a lie they've been told by the UK press. Presumably they no longer want to be subsidised by the British taxpayer. Nobody said that they're ashamed of their British heritage. They've just literally taken things out of nowhere and got Toby Young to speculate on something that doesn't exist from the Free Speech Union. In fact, he believes so much in free speech. Toby Young is such a free speech advocate that the university, freely expressing their desire to not have the national anthem sung unless a member of the royal family is in attendance, should be grounds for castigation, cancellation, if you will, by members of His Majesty's government. To speculate on removing taxpayer subsidy from this institution, showing due deference to the national anthem, when there was literally no expectation, no obligation for it to be included in a graduation ceremony. That's how far this has gone up the chain of command, off of misreporting by the Daily Mail, the Express and the Sun. But this is literally how the narrative gets set. You play around with the language, you have a quote from somebody who also wants to manufacture the consent in the same way you do, like they've done here with Toby Young. You make pretty nebulous ideas of accusations of pandering to wokery, and suddenly it's part of the national discourse. And you've got people on their Facebook pages getting mad, literally raging at their desks over something that's not even real. And like government MPs are getting involved because, again, they want to manufacture the consent as well. They're in the same game of trying to get these people angry as well, because these are the people who they want to essentially scare into voting for them. When no one's offended, nobody cares. And if you care that much about a song being sung, aren't you just as bad as the people that you're making up in your head? Like, you're making up in your head that people are so angry about a song they refuse to sing it. Yet you're angry at those fictional people for not singing the song. It's a song, mate. Get a grip. Get a grip, honestly. and start critically analysing the media that you read and critically analysing what the newspapers say, because half the time they're not telling you the truth. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for memberships. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.